Hello, hello. It's been a while, and I'm sorry about that. I've been blogging a lot, and some of the stuff I can't blog about. Well, I can actually. Okay, so you know I've got four young children, aged between 10 down to 5, and none of them are part sleep trained. So at night, everyone wears a pull up. Okay, I'm sorry, this is going to be a mixture of just normal stuff and Christian stuff. So here's what I have done, which has worked. They would soak through two normal pull ups, Pampers and Huggies. What's it called? Huggies, whatever, Huggies dry nights. They would soak through two of those all the way to their sheets until I went to Timu and I got these adult, like the size extra small, adult diapers, and I wear them. I put them on as a waterproof man. You know how we used to have plastic waterproofs when we were babies back in the olden days when we had cloth nappies. So I use that as a waterproof. And so even if it does soak through, they don't get cold. The blanket doesn't get cold. The sleep sack doesn't get cold. You don't have to change the sheets every single day. As for which one or two soak through or four, that I'll leave that up to you to decide. But yes, I've given you enough hints anyway. But yeah, this is an important part of special needs parenting, or what is one of those parts of special needs parenting. I've seen an adult talk about it. Mine are not adults, so I can't speak and say this child has this and it works. So I'll just be vague. Another one that has worked is an actual plastic waterproof, like truly a plastic waterproof. I bought it as a secondary option and it has worked. It does work and it's comfortable. The person who wears it says it's very comfortable. I just am not sure about, yeah, yes, it's very comfortable for that particular child. So that's my tip for any parent whose children are incontinent. You have done and you do the whole no drinking after 4 p.m. thing, but they still, their bladders just, the reason can be because their nerves aren't working well, so their brain doesn't know that their bladders are full, or they are so ADHD that they're concentrating on other things so much that they're not aware of what they're doing, or that their bladder needs to go. Many reasons, and also just their sensory system. If they are low registration, like one of definitely one of my girls, then she doesn't feel that her bladder needs to be emptied until it's too late. So those are the reasons, and those are real things. We've done all the physical tests. There's nothing I can do. I don't know when it will end. It's an expense. It's a stress. It's sad, but it is what it is. The nice thing is there's no shame. They don't feel shame at being that old and walking around the house, no matter who's there, if the person gets there before they wake up, still in their pajamas and pull-ups. It doesn't matter to them, and that's okay with me. Also, the other reason why I'm not in such a hurry is because they're given sedatives to help them sleep. They sleep badly. Just last night at 2:39 a.m., I heard a bang, bang, bang at the door. I was thinking, I just woke up like, okay, thief does not bang on the door, does it? I was like, I really thought, oh my word. And then I figured it must be a child, but now they're going to wake everyone else up. So I quickly said, yes, come in, come in. And it was Nalo, 5 years old. I need juice. At 2:39 after 3 sedatives. So yeah, it's things like that. You're not going to wake up a child who can't put herself back to sleep, especially if at the time you wake them, their bladder's not full, or they're so dopey that they can't urinate. We've done that with our 10-year-old. Or they are so angry at being woken up that they lash out violently. It doesn't help you, and with me, my sick self, I can't do it. So we'll just wait and see if they can outgrow it. All right, that was that. Whew, here we go. I have been mulling over this topic for a very, very long time. People who know me know exactly who this person is that I'm going to talk about, and I feel I need to talk about them because it is a red flag. It is something that I need all girls to really be aware of. And I say all girls, but it does impact men as well, males. As in, males can have a woman who's like that. But research has shown that it's mostly girls, mostly men who are in an emotional incestuous relationship with their mother. I had reams and reams of research, and somehow it didn't all get migrated to this iPad. But yeah, I'll just try and zoom through it as fast as I can. Last time I did it from a different angle, And so I'm starting again from the beginning. I just need you guys to listen to this. Young ladies, or old, single ladies who are still wanting to get married, ladies who are in a relationship but you have some doubts, and men, because it does work both ways. But the person who this has happened to is female. So I will say the man, but please put yourself in the shoe, whoever you are, or in the shoes, whether you're male or female. This is a warning you need. Please, it will lead to misery unless you never give yourself fully to your marriage. If you don't plan on loving with all your heart, if you don't plan on being an Adventist home wife, then whatever, then it's okay. Go ahead anyway. But if you want a husband who loves you with all his heart, who loves God first, and so everything we had been studying in this book is necessary for him. If he will study how to please you, as we've studied before, how to make you happy, if he's that kind of person, you need to be that kind of person too. And I lost my train of thought. So what I was saying is, if you're not going to be the kind of person who is loving, kind, sharing, submissive, but strong in principle, then it's okay. You marry whoever you want to marry. But for the sake of the children you'll have, don't have any children, because you are going to doom them to repeat the cycle. I need the cycle to end with your boyfriend's parents. That is how it needs to be. And yes, it happens with girls and their fathers, but it's mostly mothers and their children, sons. Generally, girls break off from the mother's spiderweb trap. So I'm doing this because I have to. I feel that there are people who look up to these people. I know there are people who look up to the people I'm talking about, and they need to stop. They need to stop. Just look up to God. Look up to people whose lives you have read about in the Bible, or the spirit of prophecy, if you're an Adventist. You know how Paul said, follow me in my example as I follow God? That's who you should look to. People who you know in your heart of hearts are following God every day, all day. Not chameleons who at work become like their colleagues who are not Christian. Then at church, the suit suddenly gives them a sense of, I'm like everyone else, I'm a true Christian. Or whose words are like the devil. I'll quote the Bible at you, but my character is black. Yeah. Again, I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know what I said at the beginning. I told my helper, this is actually very scary. The amount of things I forget. And I know this time it's also because I'm in a big hurry to get it done. I just want to get this over and done with so it doesn't take days to do. And I only have a few videos, a few pictures. I had many pages of this information. And I sent them to the person involved. So they know what their wife thinks. And now it's your turn to know. This is the red flag. Let us begin. Some of it is going to be up and down because I took from different research journals. So some things might be matching more with something I've already said. I'm just going to go in order of my saved photographs. All right, so we are talking about emotional enmeshment. This is where the summary of an enmeshed system, it can be a mother and all the children, or the mother and the one son. It is where there are internal and external boundary problems. In enmeshed systems, internal boundaries that define interpersonal familial relationships are weak. So, between me and my sister, between me and my brother, or my mother and myself, the boundaries are weak. So I tell you things you don't need to know. I overshare with you, my relative. I give you information that it would actually turn out my spouse doesn't want you to have. Boundaries. There are no boundaries. It's like they're all one amoeba, and yet they are all distinct individual adults. So that's how it is. That's the first sign of an enmeshed system. Look at your boyfriend. As I said, it can go both ways, but it's mostly this way. Look at your boyfriend. How much does he love his mother? This is the reason I wanted to say this. Every time there's some post or some reel or something, they're like, people in the comments say, you'll know if he'll be a good husband depending on how nice he is to his mommy. If he's loving to his mother, then you've got a good man. No, not always. Not always. Unfortunately, he can be so loving that he's in love with her in an emotional sense, that he is bonded, married to her. And no man can really give himself to two women. So you will always come second. There's a difference between loving your mom and worshipping your mom. There's a difference between knowing my mom is a human like all of us, we're all lost, and my mom is perfect. Big difference. And even when my mom is someone who has done ABC, my mom took a big plank and beat my aunt because she fell pregnant, and yet my mom herself had also been pregnant without being married. Oh, the irony. And never actually says, my mom is a hypocrite. Watch out. If they just say something so easily, how do you beat a human being with a plank? Your own sister? Because she fell pregnant? Look, what is that? So if that kind of stuff is just brushed over like it's, my mother said, you owe me 20 Rand when really I owed her 10 Rand. Big red flag. They will always view you. They will compare, I don't actually know what to say. Red flag. Mom is perfect. Nothing she does is wrong. So when she wrongs you, you are the problem because she is perfect. She is perfect. And then external boundaries. This might take a while. Boundaries to the world outside of the system are rigid. Everyone else, as another page says, everyone else is an outsider. Everyone else is an outsider. We are one. We are family. So I'll give you an example of this person. They are like, everyone has multiple partners. Everyone has had multiple partners, multiple children. Everyone has been rude, mean, unkind to half their exes, or some have been mean, unkind, cruel to their ex-parties, ex-spouses, ex-partners, really bad. But then they'll turn around when you've created healthy boundaries between your family and say, well, we're not dysfunctional like you. We still love each other. And what they mean by we still love each other is no matter what you do, how evil or cruel or hurtful it is, and now these are Christians, so I'm going to talk about it from a Christian standpoint. No matter how Christian we claim to be, whatever they do is okay. They will go and murder someone tomorrow. My parent, my mother will make sure that my murdering sibling, we can steal them out of prison and send them to Canada to escape the arm of the law. That level of everything is good, no matter what it is and how bad it is, that is actually dysfunction. It is dysfunction. That's not love. True Christian love wants you to go to heaven. Period. True Christian love wants you to be saved, showing you that it's okay to murder, showing you that it's okay to commit adultery and it's fine. It's like you've woken up and combed your hair. That's not love. That's demonic. If I love you, I will say, Azola, how could you? How could you? How could you? And then I'll work on you and pray for you. But if I can't, don't even say that was wrong. That's not godly love. So don't claim to be a Christian if you are that kind of lover. Wrong is wrong. Ezekiel tells us, warn the sinner. If you don't warn the sinner and he dies, his blood is on your hands. If you, as the lover of this man, says, dude, did you ever ask your brother why he stole our money? And your person says, leave that alone, it's got nothing to do with you. Red flag. If they say to you, don't use such a strong word, it's not stealing, they just haven't brought it back, Wrong word. Someone who goes into your bank account without you knowing and extricates your money without you knowing is a thief. And I know that this has happened in these people's family. It happened in mine too. My mother stole my money that I earned from an advert. I'm sure I've mentioned it before. And she had my bank details and she took my money. This couple that I'm talking about, the mother of the man, knew their bank details and she stole their rent deposit money. If that kind of stuff happens and your boyfriend doesn't say, Mom, how could you? And keeps quiet, run away. Nothing she will do will ever be bad. And when she hurts you, he will hurt you too. So that is one thing. Boundaries. Okay, I've gone way over the boundaries. And rigid. Everyone else is an outsider. We are family. So for example, in this particular same couple, she didn't know that there was even a family WhatsApp group until the husband told her, there's so much spam in the family WhatsApp group that I've left it. I was under the impression that when people get married, they form a family and they join each other's families. So for example, I'm going to keep saying so for example, I'm sorry. My brother, what he does is every family gathering, every family meeting, he expects my husband to be there as my father's son. We are family together. My brother respects my husband as my husband, as part of our family. And your boyfriend or your husband, but hopefully your boyfriend, he should be showing you that you are going to become part of the family, not an extra. There are more things that will happen that will hopefully allow you to run away if you're married. So stick to this and watch these signs, because sadly there is a way out of this, because they all have a trend when they're like this. So yes, even if you're married, listen out for this, because if he's like this and the unthinkable happens, please run away at the first time he does it. Run away the first time he's unfaithful, if he's also like this, because he will not stop. He will not stop. He will not apologize. He will not show you he's sorry. He will not remain accountable to you. He will not go to anyone and seek counsel, seek help. We'll go into why he won't do that. But anyway, here we go. So this child is called the chosen child, this one who's enmeshed to his mother. So he is the chosen child, and he has been in the spotlight of his mother's life all his life. So he believes himself to be superior. And in this specific family that I'm speaking about, the mother, she used to call him Chief Nduna. She used to call him Nduna, Chief. You cannot compete with a man who has been idolized and by his mother. I know more. I can teach better. I run faster. I am superior. You're just my underlings. Example, the man, one example out of many, he had some issue with the child was in hospital, and the nurses were not, they were wrong. He told them the child needs to eat, and the child hadn't eaten, and now hours were going by. Other children were being given now supper, and still the child hadn't eaten since the surgery in the morning. So understandably, the dad was angry. Feed my child. But then when he went back and told his wife, he said, and those nurses were so disrespectful. If I'm superior, anything that you do that crosses me or doesn't worship me is disrespectful. So these nurses were disrespectful, and I thought to myself, if I could call, this is what the man said, if I could call all four of you and sit you down right here and tell you, listen here, I earn more than all your incomes combined. So why don't you respect me? Red flag. Respect, I hate that word, doesn't come because of how much someone earns. Your value is not based on the money you make. Your value is on you being a human being who gives positively to society, or who doesn't take negatively from society, a blessing, not a curse, then you are deserving of respect. Whether you're a builder, a carpenter, a mechanic, what's it called? CEO, director, manager, cashier, security guard. Everyone is deserving of respect. So watch out for people who look down on others, or someone who'll say, "What? I wouldn't have married her. Her accent is too uneducated." Beware. Beware of such people. That superiority that their mother fosters in them, it cannot be undone. They grew up like that. It's entrenched in them, and only God can take it away. But they don't think they need God. They both contend that, okay, these are the researchers, Love and Schwartzman. They both contend that it is not uncommon for this person to develop narcissistic traits, if not full-blown narcissism. This sense of superiority may mean, like, you need to go and look up narcissistic personality disorder. The way we actually got around to understanding that this person's husband was like this is because we first realized they're a narcissist, an absolute narcissist. No wonder nothing that is asked is given. You owe me, I'm superior, you must give me the praise. He would say something like, she would say, you haven't complimented me ever. And you used to teach that men should say something positive about their wives when you went to retreats. And his answer will be, hey, you should be grateful. At least I didn't say anything negative about you. Run away if you can. And there are narcissistic traits that will show up even when you're dating. This superior thing, I'm better than everyone else, so everyone will obviously worship me. And I will work to be worshipped. So narcissists want admiration. So everything they do is so that they are admired. When they give, it's so that you admire them. If they give you money, it's so that you think or know that they're rich. They want for nothing. They can just give 12,000 rand, 6,000 rand, 4,000 rand, 1,000 rand, whatever it is. Narcissists have this, not wolf, sheep garb, but they are wolves underneath. And they will not work at being a good spouse because they're already good as they are. So what do you mean? Remember we studied the husband must let the wife soften and improve him. He's improved already. How do you marry someone who already thinks they're perfect? How do you help them to reach a higher standard when the standard they're at is for them the pinnacle of goodness and growth? They won't listen to you. There was a time she asked him, please, can you go for counseling? You're hurting me. The way you're treating me is hurtful. And he said to her, but how I'm treating you doesn't bother me. I'm not bothered by how I treat you. How you feel isn't impacting me, and how I treat you isn't impacting my work. So why should I? That was an answer from a Christian husband. Folk, there are women out there who have been strong for decades and are trapped. So yes, superiority. And another thing she noticed, and she only noticed it later, but you might notice it now in your boyfriend. If he talks down to you, she used to complain to him, you're talking down to me like you're a lecturer and I'm a little child and you're teaching me. We're equals, we're both adults. Be careful of someone like that, who thinks they are the fount of knowledge and that they know more than you because they've read more, instead of being willing to learn from you. And another example, she came across the 1 Corinthians 13. Okay, I don't have my head covered because I'm in a big hurry and the children are going to come back soon. So, she said to him, hey, wait a minute, 1 Corinthians 11, why didn't you explain to me about this head covering thing? You've been telling me that women shouldn't wear pants and all this other stuff and they shouldn't have braids. Why not the head covering? And of course, there are people who are against head covering, blah, blah, blah. They can, whatever, it's just an example of his behavior. You can find other examples in your own life that match this. Clearly, now she realizes that he didn't know it because he would have said it. because all his life has always been, I know more than you. You should be doing this. You should be not eating that. You should be like me, like me, like me. And he never mentioned that. So he didn't know it. But he said to her, oh, I knew you'd eventually figure it out yourself. And though she was still very young, it didn't sit right with her. That didn't make sense. Because what we have been taught and learnt in our reading is if you don't obey, then you're being disobedient. And also that we should help each other to learn and grow. So if you're leaving me to find out, so you're telling me that you'd have told me after 5 years that, do you know that your body is the temple of the Lord? Or you would have waited and just let me keep smoking. Instead of telling me your body is the temple of the Lord, don't you think you should stop smoking? That's a lie. They wouldn't have done that. So they just didn't want to say, I didn't know. A narcissist will never want to admit that they didn't know something. That especially is written, they can't. Their pride forbids them. Study narcissism on its own and you will see. For the sake of following this person's warning to you, the red flags that we are warning you about, I have actually recorded a video on the narcissistic traits that this person noticed in their situation, because we're teaching you from this specific situation. So you can dive in deeper next time or whenever you have time, but I will do a video covering just the very minor points of narcissism. It is a very big topic. So this sense of superiority may manifest itself in extreme efforts at outdoing peers in his professional life. He wants to earn more money than, garner greater recognition than. So they want to become more than, better than. I can't be just a. So the problem is, the narcissist becomes very dismissive of others' feelings and seeks out interpersonal relationships that serve his own needs for superiority. This person looks out or seeks out people who are constantly saying, please, can you tell me about this? What should I study to better myself? He never seeks out people who are already or at the same level. They're always friends who want advice, want to get rich, want a job. Be careful of that. Who are his closest people? Is he close to people who he will seek advice from, or is it mostly people who come to him for advice? So he only wants those who admire him. He seeks out the people who will admire him, and that is why they make a bad spouse. Because you can't admire someone you live with 24/7. Inevitably, there'll be something they do that is a problem. You know what? I think I'm gonna make this into a series and just post one, part one, part two, part three of, because it's a long story. The story began when these people were still teenagers. Oh well, the girl was still a teenager. And so, I mean, you know me, I'm 45, so this is someone who has been around for quite a while. So there are many examples to give, and it's something that you can't rush over, because this is your life, or your friend's life, or your sister's life. Unfortunately, people don't always listen to what their sisters say. I had a set of siblings who came to me worried about their sibling who was going to get married, because the person they were going to marry is someone who actually put them down quite often. And I just knew that, well, if this person isn't listening to you, they won't listen to me. I know they won't listen to me. And I've only, out of all the people I've ever warned who pretended that they wanted to follow principle, only one person has actually listened, watched out for the red flags, and broken up with the person. Most of us won't listen. So I know that it might not work for your friend, but they could be the one. So let's take this slow. Let's take this slow. And I'll go through all the signs that I've seen in that person's relationship and what it means for you and how, so that you know to run away. Run away fast. One thing that I wanted to talk about or add was there are things that I had not highlighted, but as I read, I see they're important, they matter. They are signs, they are red flags. So as we said, Men who have been enmeshed with their mothers find it difficult to maintain meaningful relationships. They're looking for someone who will admire them. I'm not going to admire you in turn. I need you to admire me. Praise me for how much I've achieved in work. Praise me for my running of X number of marathons. Praise me. Praise me. How are you? They might say it, but they don't mean it from the bottom of their heart. They don't ask the deep questions about your feelings. That's a meaningful relationship. When you care about your goals, about the person's goals, their feelings, their hopes, that's someone who cares about you. But when you're 18, 19, you're not thinking, does he care about my goals? So think about it. Does he know your goals? Does he support your goals? Why does he support your goals? He might be supporting your goals because they make him look good. And that is the fatal flaw. Or, yes, that's the fatal flaw in this whole thing. They will want you to achieve certain things so that they look good. They want to bask off your reflected glory. They don't want to say, she did well, my wife is so hardworking. They want to say, I've got a hardworking wife. There's a difference. It's minor, but it's profound, it's big. So this woman, she asked him, why did you choose to marry me? Why me? And his answer was, well, you were a new person in the school and church. So everyone was buzzing, all the boys like out their age were buzzing about you. And I was like, I'm also going to have a turn. They can try, but I know I will win. That's narcissistic. Do not go for someone who says, I chose you so that I would win. Go for someone who said, I chose you because of your personality. It's actually true. I chose you for your magnetic smile. This man was so mindless, not thoughtful of others' feelings, that he told his girlfriend, or now his wife, that his ex-girlfriend was pretty. As women, we know how a man admiring someone else's looks is hurtful, generally, especially if the person has been told all their life that they're ugly. So for him to admire, that's the problem, admire someone else, that's a problem, especially if, like her, he'd never told her she's beautiful. If he doesn't see the wrong in telling you that someone else is pretty, run away, okay? Do that. There's no meaningful love in that. There's no meaningful relationship in that. Someone who doesn't care that he has hurt you will never care. She made the fatal mistake of, I keep saying fatal, sorry. She made the mistake of believing him. She was stupid, really stupid, naive, no guidance, no mentor, no guide in the parents. And she would say to him, but why are you giving all these girls your hoodies? Why are you letting them wear your hoodies? Why are you letting these girls wear your sweatbands? Why are these girls allowed to keep your top? What, they're feeling cold? I don't care. Let them feel cold. Let them tell them to go to their room in res. That's what she should have said. If a man is so free with his clothes, what else is he going to be free with, guys? Let's be honest. And she would beg him, but if you're letting them wear your clothes, and I might wear your coat when I'm feeling cold, but I'm always ready, firstly, so I never need to wear anyone else's coat. Okay, let me start again. If he doesn't care that you've told them that this hurts me, that you're treating me the same as all these other girls, that there's no difference between me and them, no one is ever going to say, oh, she is his girlfriend. See, he lends her his jacket because he's lending all the girls his jacket. And he doesn't care. He doesn't see that he's hurting you by treating you like you're nothing. That's actually what he's saying. Because the woman who holds your heart is everything in a sense. But if he's treating you like you're everyone, then you're nothing. Be careful. And she had over the years asked him, why are you the knight in shining armor for every woman? Red flag. Knight in shining armor for every woman, even when he doesn't have to be. There's a difference between finding a woman on the road whose tire is burst and there's a, what's it called? It's a high hijacking zone, as opposed to there are other men around who can do it, but he's always the first. Be careful of a man who jumps to be the knight, admired by everybody, instead of trying to win your heart and your trust. Be careful. Run away. Don't even be careful. Go. Run. Okay, now that you're not back, so I will end there for now. I hope it's given you something to think about, though. I'm sorry it's going to be short clips, but I'd rather get something going and posted than nothing. I don't like long silence. So this is where I've been, people. And if you know me, yeah. Let's just say that the girl was told by Tembelani Dube that, girlfriend, your boyfriend is not on. What he's doing is wrong. Other people could see it. That's how bad it was. He was humiliating her and she allowed it. Don't let any man humiliate you. Especially if you're being warned that I wouldn't allow it. Run away. That was their way of saying run away too. They just didn't say it strongly enough. And that person, Tembelani Dube, she was correct.